The rain was falling hard that morning when Daniel Carter stepped out of the cab. He tilted his head back, staring at the towering mansion that loomed in front of him. It wasn't just a house, it was practically a fortress. Stone walls, tall windows, a gate so high it seemed designed not only to keep people out but to trap those inside. Daniel clutched the strap of his duffel bag and exhaled slowly. He had faced worse wars of his own, battles life had thrown at him, heartbreaks that left scars invisible to the world. But today's battle was different. Today, his opponent wasn't soldiers, criminals, or poverty. It was 4 children. Children no nanny, no maid, no tutor had survived for longer than a single day. The butler, an older man named Henry, opened the door. His eyebrows rose when he saw Daniel. "You must be the new caretaker." Daniel shook his head. "Not exactly. Just a man who needs work." Henry studied him skeptically. "You've been warned, haven't you? No one lasts here. They break everyone." Daniel's lips twitched into the smallest smile. Maybe they haven't met someone more stubborn than them. Inside, the first thing Daniel noticed wasn't the wealth, the marble floors, golden-framed paintings, or sparkling chandelier. It was the mess. The living room looked like a war zone. Couch cushions ripped apart. Toy soldiers scattered across the floor. A glass vase lying shattered in the corner. And then came the noise. A boy of about 12, Ethan, stood on the couch, swinging a broom like a sword. His younger brother, Liam, 10, wiry and quick, lunged at him with a mop. Their sister, Sophie, 8 years old with fiery hair and a fiercer attitude, was bossing them around like a commander. Charge! Defend the castle! Meanwhile, little Ella, just 5, sat in the corner with her dolls, bawling. "You're not playing the right way." Daniel stood silently at the door, taking it in. Most people would have yelled. Most would have demanded order. Most would have already regretted walking through the gate. But Daniel didn't raise his voice. He walked right into the chaos, placed his duffel bag gently against the wall, and bent down to pick up broken toys. The children froze. Ethan squinted at him suspiciously. "Who are you supposed to be? Another maid? Another babysitter?" Daniel didn't look up. "Just a man cleaning a mess." Sophie stomped her foot. "You're supposed to tell us what to do." Daniel calmly placed broken pieces of glass on the table. "No. I'm here to do my job. Whether you help me or not is up to you." That answer stunned them more than any scolding ever had. Chapter 2, A Single Dad's Way. By evening, the children had thrown every test at him. They hid his shoes. They spilled juice across the freshly mopped floor. Sophie even declared herself queen of the house and ordered him to bow. Daniel didn't argue, didn't shout. When Liam poured water on his shoes, Daniel simply dried them off and said, "Thanks. I needed wash." When Sophie ordered him to bow, he gave a half-smile. "Only if you earn it." For the first time, their tricks weren't working. That night at dinner, Ethan crossed his arms. "You'll quit tomorrow." "They all do." Daniel cut a piece of bread, calm as ever. "Maybe. But until then, you'll eat your vegetables." Sophie narrowed her eyes. "And if we don't?" Daniel shrugged. "Then you'll be hungry. That's your choice, not mine. No shouting. No punishments. Just calm certainty." And for the first time, the children picked up their forks and ate. What they didn't know was that Daniel wasn't just any man. He was a father himself. Back home, his little girl, Maya, was waiting. She was 7, with big brown eyes and a smile that had carried him through the darkest years. Since his wife's passing in a car accident, Daniel had raised her alone. He knew tantrums. He knew loneliness. He knew how children tested boundaries not out of cruelty, but out of a desperate need for security. So when he looked at the general's children, he didn't see brats. He saw kids who were aching for someone to stay. Chapter 3, Cracks in Their Armor. Days turned into weeks. Slowly, Daniel began to notice patterns. Ethan, the eldest, wasn't just bossy, he was desperate to fill the role of man of the house while his father was gone. Liam, quick and mischievous, acted out because he felt invisible next to his older brother. Sophie was fiery because she wanted attention that always seemed swallowed by the boys. And Ella just wanted a lap to sit on and arms to hold her. One evening, as Daniel tucked Ella into bed, she whispered, "Are you gonna leave like the others?" Daniel paused. "Do you want me to leave?" She shook her head hard, tears filling her eyes. "Then I'll stay," Daniel promised softly. Her little hands clung to his shirt as if to anchor him there. That night, Daniel sat alone in the guest room, staring at the ceiling. He hadn't planned on staying long. This was supposed to be a job, nothing more. But slowly, it was becoming something else. These weren't just the general's kids anymore. They were kids who needed him. And Daniel, though he tried to deny it, needed them too. Chapter 4, The General's Return. Everything changed the day General Richard Stanton returned. The man was a legend, medals, honors, discipline carved into every muscle of his being. His footsteps echoed like commands. The children, once fearless with every nanny, grew stiff the moment he walked in. They stood straighter, quieter. At dinner that night, the general's sharp eyes fell on Daniel. "You're not a maid. Not a nanny. Who are you?" Daniel looked him straight in the eye. "A father." "That's enough." The general's jaw tightened. "My children don't need another father. They need discipline." Daniel's voice stayed calm. "With respect, sir, they don't need another commander. They need someone who listens." It was the first time anyone had dared to challenge the general in his own house. And though he didn't show it, something about Daniel's steady confidence unsettled him. Continued expansion, Daniel handling each child's crisis one by one, Ethan sneaking out in the storm, Liam getting into a dangerous accident with tools, Sophie rebelling and refusing to talk to her father, Ella falling ill and needing comfort. Daniel steps in, showing patience, love, and courage where others failed. The general slowly observes, his rigid heart softening as he realizes this stranger is teaching him how to be a father again. In the climax, Ethan's runaway storm scene unfolds with high tension, Daniel rescuing him, then confronting the general about the need for love over rules. Chapter 8, Begging him to stay. Months later, the mansion was transformed. The children weren't perfect. But they were happy. The halls that once echoed with tantrums now rang with laughter. One morning, Daniel packed his duffel bag. He thought his job was done. But before he could step out, Sophie blocked the door. "You can't leave," she cried. Liam grabbed his arm. "Please, we need you." Ella hugged his leg, sobbing, "Don't go." And then, silence fell as the general himself stepped forward. His voice, once iron, now broke with something raw. "Stay, Carter. My children need you, and so do I." For a man who never begged, those words were heavier than metals. Daniel set his bag down slowly. "Then I'll stay." The children erupted in cheers, pulling him into a group hug. For the first time, the mansion wasn't just a fortress. It was a home. Final reflection. This story is more than children, more than chaos, more than discipline. It's about what truly holds a family together. Not power. Not control. But presence, patience, and love. Because sometimes, the strongest person in the room is not the loudest, but the one who listens, the one who stays, the one who chooses kindness. Call to action. Backhand index pointing right. If this story touched your heart, let me know in the comments below. Backhand index pointing right. Share your own experiences about family, parenting, or the mentors who shaped your life. Backhand index pointing right, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Be kind always for more emotional and inspiring stories. Because in the end, the world doesn't remember how strict you were. It remembers how kind you were.